Hello friends, I'm Christopher and I love gardening. It's Sunday night, but this is the garden tour for Monday, June 25th, 2018. The temperature tomorrow is going to be about 75 degrees, nice and cool. So a little different format for this garden tour today. We got ourselves a new family camera. I'm shooting on a Canon EOS 77D. It's going to take me a couple months to, play with it and figure out settings and things. So we're just using autofocus. Hopefully it's doing a good job. But I figured I'd use the tripod and show you around. Hope you don't mind. Anyways, this is, of course, the biggest change since last week, aside from the explosive growth, just because it's that time of year. I finally got in the last 12-foot section of the arched tunnel trellis that I wanted to build. And I have a build video for that coming out tomorrow, so be sure to, get notifications for that if you're interested. This took me a little bit of time, more than I was expecting. I think I was getting bogged down in the heat of the day. But I made some modifications from this one as opposed to this one that I built at the beginning of May. This is the one that has all the light vegetables on it. Like right now I've been harvesting tons of these delicious sugar snap peas, and I've got cucumbers that'll come on this side and beans that are going to come on the other side. Whereas all of this, this is a bunch of heavier things like watermelon and cantaloupe and gourds and such. So I'm thinking when these grow up, I got to be holding on to them with pantyhose and socks and that kind of stuff. These peas are fantastic. I just moved these a couple hours ago. That's why they look a little wilty and such. But don't worry, give them just a couple days. They're going to shoot right up towards the sun, rebound, and be vining in and out of here. So this is my prediction. Given how watermelon and cantaloupes and all these vining plants go, I think this is going to be covered to the top from both ends in 6 weeks. That's my prediction, middle of August. Is that right? Beginning of August. So a week or two before my daughter is born, I think is going to be covering the top. And won't that be exciting to come along and see? Below me here, which I think is in frame, is the gooseberries. And I want to show you that these are starting to ripen. So let me grab the camera. Behold, the gooseberry bush, and it's definitely starting to ripen. You can see in there are some red berries right up near the top, and I think if they get too red, you'll notice some of them are also drying out, then they've gone too far. So this must be the time for me to pick them. I just am. There we go. Oh, the camera has such pretty focus, doesn't it? My goodness, zoomed right in one of those gooseberries. As this is the first year that we've had fruit on this plant, I'm making some guesses of when to actually harvest, but these are no longer ridiculously tart anymore, so I think it's safe to pick. Let's bring you up and look at this kind of stuff. So of course we got the raspberries in the corner, and they're doing a great job. Move the camcorder again. Camcorder, oh God, I'm aging myself. We'll move the camera again, and yeah, you can see these are really coming in. Jim's raspberries over here look definitively different than everything else, and we are starting to get to the very top of the trellis, which is cool with pretty much everything else. And I've got to show you one more thing, which is just crazy. Poor Bridget, my wonderful wife, she left for 5 weeks of grad school this weekend. And, these raspberries are planted, because of her, because they're her favorite fruit. And the very first raspberry to redden up, right there. So, sorry, honey. Oh, that is good. That is out of focus. And that is in focus. Yay! Thanks for coming along, folks. Oh, it's so delicious. There's the first one. Honey, it's wonderful. Don't worry, there'll be plenty more when you get back from school. Do. let's move on to a different section of the garden. So I guess it's a little bit of stationary trellis and a little bit of not stationary trellis. Some classic Christopher photography, videography. You may have noticed I changed my logo finally, updated it, and kind of changed the name. Haven't made that name change officially yet. I think I'm going to go with Midwest Workshop and Garden. So let's take a look over here. This, of course, in frame, we've got a series of corn, so well over knee-high already before 4th of July. We found that out last week. This is the sweet corn. It's doing a really good job. It's thickening up a lot at the base. I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm assuming that's great. The sunflowers that are in here are starting to grow. This one mammoth back here is the only one. You know, last week I took off the Coke bottle that I had, and I had a nice seedling for another late season mammoth sunflower started, and it got about 5 inches tall, and I took it off, and the slugs got to it right away. I was so ticked off. So only one mammoth sunflower. The real winners here are these strawberry popcorn. These guys are like up to my hip already, and I don't know why. Some of the things that are different between here and there, honestly, the only thing that's different between here and there is the amount of shade that it gets. Those guys get more sun, and this gets, I mean, pretty much full sun all day. It's a little dappled through the maple tree back here, so I don't know if these just like partial sun / most sun, or maybe they just grow faster than the golden sweet corn. I don't know. I don't care. They're doing a great job, and I'm excited to see how this goes later this season. Hopefully I'll be able to pollinate before the other so they don't, crossbreed. We'll see. Next year for sure, though, it's going to be a couple rows going horizontally like this with probably just popcorn and sunflowers in the back. So you have like the 12-foot sunflowers and then the, 8 or 9 foot corn, 7, 8 foot corn. That's just thinking ahead. Way in the corner here, which you probably can't see, but I'll bring you around a little bit, is my spaghetti squash, and I've been training it to grow in this direction and fill out behind me. It's doing a wonderful job. It's about twice the volume as it was last week. The potatoes, yes, I know I probably should thin them out, but more importantly, I need to add the rest of the dirt to these barrels, and I will likely do that this week. I had good intentions of doing it today, but man, this great big tunnel trellis just killed me. Sapped all my energy. Oh yeah, of course, you definitely can't see that spaghetti squash in that frame. So, move the camera around. That's the spaghetti squash. Doesn't that look lovely? It's growing in that direction. Doing a really great job. I've got pretty much on all of my gourds and squash and stuff, flowers that are coming in. Of course, you can see that flower right there. They're all, shades of orange. So, seems early for that to be happening, but of course I did get the garden in super early this year, earlier than any other year previously. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Why don't I just back up? Oh, you're all so patient. So, this is all looking really good. Let's not kid ourselves. It's huge, and I think I'm just going to take the camera off of the tripod. Great idea. Okay, hit the lever. Woohoo! Put it over my neck, and let's rock and roll. So, here we've got the herbs, which are coming along well. I've been using the basil quite a lot in my salads. I don't know why I have this little trellis next to it. I think it's just decorative, but everything is growing well. Of course, the mint is starting to be a monster and crawl all over the place, and I love it. Looking up here at the peppers, we've got 2 rows of sisal wire here for my adaptive trellis style. I should probably top these peppers, shouldn't I, Jim? All of the specialty peppers, I would say, are coming in really nicely. So the ones that I just zoomed by were green peppers, and these are all different ones. Like this is going to be a red pepper. Banana pepper over there. Looks gorgeous. I actually harvested one that looked even more yellow than that earlier this week. They taste super good. We've got the jalapeno peppers. They're about pickable size, if I had to say. And here are the cayenne long slim peppers, you know, for chilies and such. I've never grown a pepper this hot before. Oh, that's pretty. So we'll see what it's like. As you can see, I'm still getting used to which way I want to zoom and which way I don't want to zoom. Here are the tomatoes, and yes, they are on the dense side, and I'm thinking I should probably do something about that. Now, I don't know, I've had mixed luck with that in years past. As you can see, if I zoom in here, the tomatoes are having no problem actually forming in here. There's lots of crossbreeds, so it's not like they're sucking the life out of each other. But I just don't know. Would you thin this out? How would you thin it out if you would? I've got one plant here that's kind of these like a braid of tomatoes, and that's fun to watch this coming in. Usually these don't take too long to redden up. I'm thinking maybe like another 2 weeks or something. Should be good to go. Just golden. But these cute little flowers, you know, aren't they great? Just that little yellow. I think they're so pretty. Oh, there's the focus. Wonderful. I sure love having these wood chips. Tell you what, you know, a couple little things poking through weed-wise. Otherwise, they're terrific. The broccoli is just stunning. I mean, look at that happy head of broccoli. They're all coming along really well. The ones over here are coming along even better. I've never grown broccoli before. This is the first. And it's pretty cool. Over in this section that's filling up well, the Egyptian walking onions are all giving you some suggestive greetings. But they're cool little things. See that? So for those of you who this is your first time experiencing one of these, they don't have flowers at the top. They have these cute little, I don't know, tiny scallions on the top, and that's what you fry up if you want. And of course there is a red onion on the bottom. Kale's going really well. It doesn't look like it from this angle, but I've been cutting it a lot. It's really very mild. Zucchinis, all over the place as far as the eye can see. Tons of flowers. I think this is going to be a very prolific plant. It's really enjoying the raised beds, if I had to guess. I've never had a zucchini that's been this large this time of year. The celery is starting to grow. It's hard to tell if you don't have a frame of reference, but this is what I would expect for the size this time of year. It'll take a couple of months still before those start shooting up and actually looking like celery. Look at this stuff, though. Whoa! So the carrots, yeah, this looks like carrots. Carrot greens and such. It'll take a while before I actually harvest any of those. I let a couple of my radishes flower and go to seed just because I think these purple flowers are gorgeous. You know? Check it out. Isn't that pretty? It's really lovely. And they're like that for quite some time before the flower heads start. But I've been harvesting a lot of radishes. I've probably done like a dozen and a half. And if I go down in here, I probably should just pull out the rest of them, because some of them I think I planted too close together, like this right here. I don't think I have like any radish on the bottom of it, but it's mostly just root. What else can I find? But then I've got some winners like this right there. You see? I can pull that out. I think this is the time of year where if I would do it again, I don't know if it's going to be too hot for me or not, or if I want to wait for a later season crop on the radishes, but I'll plant them using a Gary Polarchik method instead of the rows that I did. Beets look good. You know, it's going to be a while before I pull any of these out, but they sure are pretty. And the lettuce and the spinach is just, I mean, amazing. It's been cut and come again for weeks now. All these different varieties. And I get out here and I cut off these heads. on the spinach like this. It's been a couple days. One, I'm letting go to seed just to see what it's like, if it's going to self-seed or not. I guess we'll find out. You know, it's part of the joy of gardening, is this experimentation. Yeah. So, the garden's looking pretty great, guys. Excuse my cough. So, what do you think? Something a little different? Hope you didn't mind me experimenting too much with my camera. We'll get better at this as the weeks go on. What do you think of my trellises completed? The growth of everything else? How's yours coming? What do you think of that corn? Have you reseeded radishes in the summertime? Should I wait? Are you just chilling in your garden like this sweet gnome? Yeah, you totally should be. Okay. Thanks a lot for watching. Happy gardening. Happy woodworking.